originally it would have been back when I was 10 years old. I had a brother who's 6 years older than me. We dabbled in it a bit with scouts, like always been part of that, but then he decided he wanted to take it up at the local club, and just, being 6 years younger and wanting to beat him at everything he did or do whatever he did, I started alongside him probably a year later, and then was probably fortunate enough that I started early enough that I became quite good at a young age. And then sort of from there, he stopped as soon as I was starting to get close to him. He didn't fancy being beaten by his little brother. So he always tells me he was better than me. And I carried on, and sort of the rest is sort of history of sort of how I've gone through. Some of the biggest was in 2018, winning the Team Worlds with Joe Clark and Bradley Forbes-Crines. That was a pretty historic moment, having the kayak men not won the Worlds before I was born, previous to that at team level. And then my other ones would certainly be being part of the senior team for 5 years, and also bronze medalists at the World and Euros at under 23 level last year, and hopefully more to come. So this year is a bit different for me in terms of previous years I've had under 23s as well as senior races, but this year I've only got senior races. I've sort of aged out of the under 23s. So my targets this year are to medal at a senior Europeans or senior Worlds. So Europeans will be end of May, the Worlds will be end of July. Paris is definitely on the radar. Paris has been on the radar since I unfortunately missed the Tokyo team in 2019. That was then setting up for the next 4 years to be good to go for Paris, to give myself the best opportunity to perform there. So we're in sort of what we call year 2 of the cycle, which means we're focusing on race experience, getting out there, delivering consistently before year 3 and year 4, so in bringing in a bit more, being a bit more specific about which races we're aiming to deliver at, and trying to hone in on one race, so then hopefully come that Paris year and I get selected, I'll be really good for just that Paris race, and be able to be as fit as I can for that race. They're very different. I do love the camaraderie of the team event. It's good fun. It's a bit more relaxed, whereas the individual's a bit different dynamic. You know, you're the one responsible for your run. No one else can mess it up for you. You can't mess up someone else's run in a sense. I think it's the sort of the changeability in it. You can have someone who's a world champion who just is slightly offline, and that's it. They're not racing the final of the Worlds that year. Whereas in other sports, it seems a bit more consistent who hits that final every single time because they sprint 100 meters. And then probably the other two would be just the excitement of generally watching it. When you're in a final and someone putting time after time after time down and it's getting really tight, it's anything can be separated by 0.01 people have won races by. So the excitement of literally as they're sprinting to the line, you don't know if they've taken the win, second, third, and that's really exciting. And then the final bit would probably be just almost the fact it's outdoors. On a sunny day outdoors, there's nothing better than just being able to sit down, watch. You can chill, you can have a drink if you come in with your friends and family, and just it's a really nice environment to be around. It's a fun environment to be around. I've been really fortunate that UEL have been really good to me around being able to study and train. So I do it mostly distance learning, which COVID kind of helped with the lectures becoming online and everything. But a typical week would be sort of 2 sessions a day, depending on what time of year we're in, depending what it would look like. So probably anywhere between 3 to 5 gyms, and then sort of 8 water sessions, maybe some cardio, depending on what time of year, depends how that lays out. And then around that, just fitting uni in where I can. When I'm not wanting to be asleep, cooking or training, uni puts in around that. And then I've also got my exams that come in sort of, January time and then May time, where I sort of buckle down a bit and try and focus a bit more on actually doing my exams and getting that revision in. That was pretty much the main reason why I went to UEL, is their ability to be flexible. And actually, as I say, was the main reason I picked UEL, because they seemed so open to that and wanted to work with each individual on their basis and not just a group scholarship that's just group for everyone. It's actually very individualised to what your needs actually are, and if you're open to giving your needs, they're quite amenable to being able to try and fit them the best they can. I think a lot of time we do take it for granted when you go abroad and you see other nations, their home course, like this is our home course, and you see the facilities they've got, they're just nowhere near as good. But I think that helps us to maybe not take it for granted as much when we then come back and realise, actually, no, we do have a great gig here. We've got access to such amazing facilities here. If it wasn't for that, I would be having to travel an hour to get to good facilities.